P.O.C. Vibrating in my office. That's sensational activity creation. Fetters is group stalking, or I'll get that third party right now. That's criminal presence while the entity is flying over. Amplification is heard over here on my right side, but they're actually over here. That's called amplification. That's group stalking while I'm hearing it in my office, while it's creating a vibration in my office. And this is ongoing documented criminal activity by a corrupt law enforcement agency who's flying in circles repeatedly. Audibly so, because the people of this, for example, the same demonic activity that's underway in the laundry room for all hours of the day while I'm in the workplace, okay, for purposes of maintaining presence in the path, a demon that knows what you're doing as you do it, and on a communication device, that same demonic and that ongoing workplace terrorism and harassment as an entity that's keeping you under surveillance and is engaged in federal stalking in violation of Title 18 is occurring under the malicious guise of those demons are now cleaning the laundry room. It's the exact same criminal activity with the exact same corrupt law enforcement agency, which is the exact same federal prosecution, the exact same P.O.C. Okay, monitoring on the grounds. I'm going to document this third party. This is Truck Movers. Truck Movers is engaged in criminal presence, using the truck as a means of activity creation, light activity, and presence in the path. Monitoring on communication devices. While I walk, that amplification of the sound of beeping is monitoring. Truckers is indeed engaged in the pattern of conduct. This is license plate 40437C3, C as in Charlie. Truck Movers is the name of the company. You're going to civilly and criminally prosecute. It's criminal presence. There is no business that you are engaged in where you're facilitating the documented criminal monitoring by the state, and you are also engaged in federal stalking on the venue of the internet. This is the P.O.C. And the entity documented maintaining a light source at hour, okay, from beginning to the end of the day. The cloudy sky is no deviation from that same criminal activity. License again 40437C3. This is P.O.C. They're in relevant position monitoring with the people who live here. It's an ongoing ceaseless system. Okay, it is currently 11:23 a.m. That's P.O.C. That's smart janitorial. They're engaged in criminal presence. You don't have any legitimate presence while the state's pattern of conduct is underway, and you are also not coincidentally engaging in the same exact demonic pattern of creating noise while the entity is flying over, creating noise while I send an email, creating noise while I take a picture. Those are demons that are pacing, walking in opposite directions. Pay attention. It's P.O.C. And smart janitorial is going to be prosecuted for also workplace terrorism. Understand how all the entities being documented and prosecuted. All right, it is currently, they're both going to federal prison. I'm speaking to the smart janitorial personnel. It's already established what's happening to all 59 units, the third parties that live here and the third parties that work for speaker companies. The third parties that are systematically facilitating state surveillance and federal stalking are going to federal prison as well. They're also being documented for a separate grounds of prosecution. They're all violating federal housing laws, by the way, while I'm processing applications, while I'm in custody of that information, while it's all on the communication device. They're all, and also on my phone as I deal with that regularly as a property manager. They are violating simultaneously, they being the whole entity, including third parties that are coming onto the ground, such as smart janitorial, such as truckers, okay? The entity is monitoring and maintaining private identifying information of federal housing applicants and federal housing recipients. Also, you're understanding what is workplace terrorism and harassment and sexual violence by that entity that's engaged in federal stalking. So they are being prosecuted for all of the above. This is the entity that's together monitoring and terrorizing and sexually violating you while they're keeping you under surveillance, and it's occurring in the workplace. That's a whole other separate grounds of federal prosecution. Okay, this is under the umbrella of federal group stalking and monitoring and federal stalking, communication devices, internet, in concert with the state that you see flying over by helicopter again. And it is 11:25 in the morning. So we're just going to add that onto the list. You're looking at what is a documented pattern of engaging what is the well-documented pattern of conduct in the specific environment. And it is 11:21 a.m. Hi, how can I help you? Are you in custody of that truck in the parking lot with the couches and stuff?
No.
I was about to say, you deliver refrigerators and stoves.
Stove.
Hi, Fetters, right?
Yep.
Okay, sure. What did you need from me?
Somebody's there in apartment 4 or
They're in there right now. There's one of the maintenance is there, so they should be able to let you in.
You.
Okay, no problem. P.O.C. That's Fetters, that's monitoring, okay? Fetters is engaged in federal stalking, as I documented this morning, on the phone, which is a communication device, and they're monitoring while they're on the grounds, group stalking with the state and all of the entity, okay? Providing ongoing noise as I walk across the parking lot, beep, beep, beep. As I walk back, loud crashing, it's audible activity. That's monitoring conduct, and it's all demonic. These are all demons, all of them. including those that are using helicopters. And this is revealing what is demonic activity. This is the threat that's going to be neutralized. You are permeating the lives of the entity that's posing a threat not only to each other while these psychopaths are together targeting an innocent American citizen. You're removing them from children that they're in custody of. You're removing them from the country if they're not even natural born citizens. That's a very easy way. After they sit in federal prison, you're going to serve the consequences for engaging in the state system. I don't care how old you are. Lorraine Pena, 76. Shameful. Her and her daughter and her granddaughter. Generations of demon possession and obviously generations of criminal conduct. It is currently, that's Federer's group stalking, and I'm going to get that license plate as well. This is the entity that's acting via the people of the state. You identify them by company name, you identify them by license plate, and what you will see, as you've also witnessed, third parties, it doesn't matter where they have a logo. You're looking at UPS stalking with impossible light activity. You're understanding it does not matter what they're driving in or what they look like or what their position is. It's demonic activity altogether, the ongoing connectedness of that system. Covering up the light source at any point in the day is never going to rebut the ongoing documentation of what was never the natural environment while you engaged in documented light source rising and setting at any point in the day. Never is the sun over Alvarado Gardens. Okay, the entity engaging in what is keeping perhaps a light source that would have been, down yonder. All right, perhaps I could have had an analysis for that as well, but that's not what the entity does. The entity is stalking with a light source that remains directly over me, and that's exactly what's documented. And I used every police department, I used every venue for purposes of a vivid illustration. Covering up that light source and then showing it still or covering it up all day long. It's the same criminal system, and the elements are always underway. The entity is stalking behind a building. Somebody's creating light activity, including the entity that uses helicopters while they're flying around. The blinking light on the helicopter is light activity. Okay, they're always maintaining the elements of monitoring. This is demonic, and all of them have the same spirit of Satan. You're looking at people that don't have to talk to each other because they have the same identical spirit, just different people, which is terrorism. It's very sick, very disturbing. It is documenting what is America's version of terrorism, and it's criminal. This is P.O.C.